After 6 years of marriage, my wife proposed we open our marriage, so I filed for divorce and blocked her access to my $112,000 paycheck. I'm 37 years old and have been married to Sharon, 39, for 6 years, and I've known her for 10. I serve in the Marine Corps as a logistics officer and am deployed 6 to 7 months a year. My job pays well, approximately $10,000 with benefits and combat pay, allowing us to live comfortably. In 2014, we met through mutual acquaintances at a barbecue. I was already in the Marines, and she was an elementary school teacher earning around $45,000 annually. She seemed different from other women I'd dated. She understood the military lifestyle because her father had served for 25 years. She was self-sufficient, had her own career, and didn't desire me just for the perks, unlike several military wives I'd encountered. After 4 years of dating, we married in a beautiful ceremony in front of friends and family. Her father, a veteran himself, was happy to welcome another military man into the family. The first few years were great. Sharon was encouraging of my work and proud of my service, and we made the most of our time together when I was home. During deployments, she kept busy teaching, attending her book club, and spending time with military wives who understood her situation. We established a routine, weekly video dates, care packages, and occasional visits while I was in port. I even bought her a 4-bedroom house in a good neighborhood near her school. I upgraded her car every few years and ensured she had everything she needed. She always felt the deployments were worth it and was happy being a military wife. We talked about having kids, but agreed to wait until I could get an office job because she didn't want to raise them alone for half the year. Life seemed wonderful until everything changed. Sharon started spending more time with a new group of friends from yoga, most of whom were single women or divorced moms from her school. She'd share pictures of their girls' nights out at fancy restaurants and clubs, places we used to go together. I didn't think much of it, believing she'd be occupied while I was away. She began focusing more on her appearance, buying expensive clothes, getting her hair done frequently, and joined a gym with a personal trainer. I assumed she was rewarding herself with the money I earned. Looking back, these were all warning signs. During a regular video call on date night, Sharon suddenly exclaimed, "Let's open our marriage." I thought she was joking, but she was dead serious. When I asked what was going on, she replied she'd been thinking about it for some time and felt it was best for us. She claimed no woman could control her desires for 6 months and was tired of dealing with the deployments. She'd been living a single life most of the time. Wanting closeness, I felt terrible about how she reduced our marriage to nothing more than sex after 10 years together, 6 of them married. I was taken aback by this. I tried to remain calm and thanked her for everything she did to keep us together. I informed her that the distance was part of my profession, something we both agreed to when we married. We had previously discussed switching to an office job, but opportunities hadn't arisen, and I genuinely enjoyed what I did. Sharon knew this and seemed agreeable, at least until recently. She became irritated when I tried to have a sensible conversation. I proposed we discuss it later when we were both calmer, but she insisted on resolving it immediately. She complained about feeling lonely, spending birthdays and anniversaries alone, and attending doctor's appointments by herself. She started crying while talking about all this. Look, I understand it's hard. I also miss out on many important moments, but what am I supposed to do? This was exactly what she signed up for when she married me. When we initially got married, many people advised us to have a child to keep her busy during deployments, but Sharon wasn't ready to be a single mom for half the year, and I agreed it wasn't fair to burden her with that responsibility. So we decided against having kids until I got an office job. Now I wonder if that decision exacerbated her loneliness. Still, opening the marriage? That's not okay. I asked her if she was leaving me. She replied no, that she loved me, that she could never leave me, that she wanted to grow old with me, but that she was about to turn 40, and in a few more years, she would hit menopause. She had so little time to enjoy her sexuality. Half of her prime years were being spent waiting for me. She didn't want that. She wanted to live a full life and not die with regrets. She'd never talked about sex in such detail during our relationship. We always had a strong physical connection when I was home. Sure, we used toys and intimate video calls to stay close during deployments, but she never complained that it wasn't enough. I could see this conversation wasn't going well. She wasn't asking for permission. She was telling me what she planned to do. What exactly do you want? I asked, dreading to hear the truth. She looked at me through the screen and said, I want to open this marriage and meet other men. I have needs, and they need to be met. I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. The woman I married, who vowed to stay faithful through thick and thin, was there telling me she was going to sleep with other men, and there was nothing I could do about it. I tried to keep my composure, even though I wanted to punch something. So you want to sleep with other men while you're still married to me? I said. When she nodded, I asked how that would help her loneliness. Would these random men care for her when she was sick or celebrate her birthday? She said she wasn't sure if it would be a physical thing or if she'd be seeing them, but whatever it was, she loved only me. They'd be fillers while I was away. When I came back, I'd be all hers. As if I was supposed to be okay sharing my wife half the year. Then I asked how long this would last. A few years or forever. She hadn't made up her mind. I asked if she'd already cheated on me. She got upset. If I wanted to cheat on you, I wouldn't be having this conversation. She thought being honest about wanting to sleep with other men was preferable to lying about it. There's some twisted logic in that. I asked if I had any say in this. She said her mind was made up. If she didn't do it, she would go crazy. My head was spinning. I informed her I needed time to think about it. She simply hung up without saying goodbye. What makes the situation even more complicated is that I'd barely left home 3 or 4 weeks ago after spending 3 months together. During my leave, everything seemed fine. We flew to Hawaii for our second honeymoon. We fixed the house the way she wanted, and even talked about trying for a baby next year. She was very affectionate the whole time, always talking about our future together. The day I left, she was crying and making plans for my next leave. We'd even started saving money for our future child. I was looking into opportunities at the nearby base, so I could spend more time at home. That's how committed we were to starting a family. When I asked her the next day why she didn't bring up the subject while I was there, she said she didn't feel the need for other men while being close to me. That's when something clicked. She'd definitely met someone at her new gym or through those single girlfriends. The timing was too convenient, right before I left. She highlighted a new personal trainer at her gym who was very inspiring and had been giving her extra attention. I didn't think much about it then, but the way she pushed for this soon after I left made it seem planned. Part of me wanted to believe it was just about loneliness, but I'm not that naive. My friend Mike went through something similar last year. His wife requested an open marriage during his deployment, but it turned out she was already seeing someone. Now they're divorced. I asked Sharon again if this was truly what she wanted, if she'd considered what it would mean for us and our future plans. She replied yes without hesitation, as if the 3 months we spent planning our lives together meant nothing. I decided to press her on the details, not because I was considering it, but to understand her flawed logic. I asked her about the scenario. Could I see other women? How would we handle the money? Her response proved how selfish this whole situation was. She said she hadn't thought that far ahead. She just wanted someone to fulfill her needs while I was away. But when I returned, it would be just the two of us. She said I could try things out on leave days, but couldn't see other women at home because she would be there. According to her brilliant idea, we'd see how it went and maybe end the marriage once she was done exploring. I'd had enough. Look, this isn't what I signed up for. I wanted a monogamous marriage, but since you've made up your mind, I won't stop you. Just remember that I'm not going to sit here and take it. There will be consequences. She had the audacity to ask what I was going to do about it. I calmly informed her that, first, She would have to cover her own expenses, no more money from our joint account. Second, we'd cut off all communication. I didn't want calls or texts when she was busy with her affairs. Third, maybe I'd start seeing other women without any restrictions from her side. She laughed and said she knew I would join in, that she was excited, and it would be fun. Then she said, I know you won't stray too far. How can you leave such a stunning beauty? And started taking off her clothes. I cut that short quickly. My conditions start today. Have fun. And I hung up. That was it. I stopped caring about her. She tried contacting me, but I ignored everything. She started uploading obvious photos of date nights and vacations without revealing the men. But come on, a selfie in the jacuzzi with rose petals, candles, and 2 glasses of wine isn't hard to interpret. Her sister messaged me asking if I knew what Sharon was doing. I told her straight up that Sharon had initiated the open marriage without my permission because she was lonely between the legs. Sharon bombarded me with messages after that, but I didn't care. My next leave starts next week. I already have my brother looking for an apartment. I told him and my parents the whole story. I also hired a lawyer to start working on my case. I'm not rushing anything. I want to do this right, and I intend to make her regret her decisions. I'll give an update during my leave or when I return. If you've read this far, I appreciate it. Update 1. I need to address something quickly before getting into what happened. Everyone seems to sympathize with military wives. Poor thing has to live alone, even though she's married. Or what about her needs? And so on. Then they look at me like I'm the terrible guy for not understanding her circumstances. Yes, everything people say about how hard it is correct, but no one forced her to marry me. She lives in our 4-bedroom house with a pool that she could never afford on a teacher's salary. She drives a brand new BMW I bought for Christmas last year. She carries Louis Vuitton luggage and a Cartier watch that costs more than her monthly salary. Every summer, we vacation in Europe or the Caribbean. She gets her hair done at luxury salons, attends yoga retreats, and never has to worry about the bills. But it's funny how no one talks about these privileges when they feel sorry for her. She lived like a queen off my income and complained about being lonely. Let me tell you something. Staying faithful isn't easy for us either. We travel worldwide, stop at various ports, and have access to nearly any luxury we desire in port. Beautiful women throw themselves at soldiers. Most of them don't care if you're married. My friends joke that I could have a girlfriend in every country if I wanted to, but I've always remained faithful because that's what marriage means to me. Some of us remain loyal to our wives, but no one acknowledges our efforts. They simply assume all military personnel cheat. Now about what happened during my leave. I didn't return to our residence. I couldn't bear the thought of being in the same bed her other male companions had been in. My brother got me an apartment in one of the new luxury towers downtown. I spent the first few days with him and his family. My sister-in-law was upset when she heard what Sharon did. They used to be good friends. I took my niece and nephew camping over the weekend, something I'd promised them for years. The kids asked where Aunt Sharon was, and I felt terrible having to make up excuses. I then spent time with my parents in our hometown and caught up with old acquaintances. All of them said they never trusted Sharon. I shared everything on social media, not to be petty, but to show her I wasn't sitting around depressed without her. My leave usually consists of these high-profile military parties, fancy gatherings at 5-star hotels that Sharon always enjoyed. Not everyone gets invited to these events. It's mainly commanders, their wives, politicians, and prominent citizens of the city. These parties were important for her social status. She enjoyed showing off her fancy outfits and attracting attention. I made sure to post lots of photos, including some with my female coworkers who are far more successful than her, doctors, lawyers, and business owners. When people asked about Sharon, I just told them the truth. She wanted an open marriage to cheat on me while I was away. News traveled fast in our community, and all the military wives who used to kiss up to her started cutting her off. When she saw my family photos online, she simply texted me asking where I was living and why I wasn't at home. Then she switched to, "It's okay, I'll give you space. I'll wait for you." As if she was doing me a favor. However, when she saw the party photos, she lost it. She started contacting me about how I had abandoned her, wondering if we hadn't agreed to be normal when I came back. She started messaging me at 2 a.m. about how much she missed our life together and how all those other guys didn't matter. I didn't reply to any of it. After months of silence, I finally said I never agreed to any of this. "You did what you wanted. Now, I'm doing what I want." She responded with nonsense about waiting for me to finish up, as if I was a child throwing a tantrum. She truly believed she could pause our marriage while she had her fun and then resume it when she was done exploring. A few months later, she contacted me expressing the need to discuss the terms of our open marriage, as if we could sit down for coffee and organize when she could cheat. I stopped that quickly. Do what you want. I'm not playing this game. My lawyer told me to record all these communications as they would be helpful in the divorce. Then she saw me living my best life and sent emails saying, "Let's go back to normal. I'm done with this." As if I could just flip a switch and everything would be okay. She wrote a long email about how she had made a mistake, how none of those other guys made her feel like I did, and how she recognized what she was losing. She said she'd do anything to save our marriage. I simply replied, "Huh," and went on with my day. My mother, who hasn't spoken to Sharon since this incident, put it best. "She didn't expect you to choose your dignity over her." Sharon unexpectedly showed up at my apartment one day. I have no idea who told her where I live. I shared my address with close family and a few trusted friends. Someone must have talked, but I don't want to know who right now. I was ready to hit the gym when I heard a knock. She looked completely different from when I left. She'd lost weight, dyed her hair blonde, and wore tight-fitting clothes she'd never worn before. She stood there fidgeting and asked why I wasn't living at home. I told her straight up that I had no intention of living with someone who had such disregard for our marriage. She didn't like that answer at all. "I thought we could work this out," she replied, as if we were having a minor disagreement about what color to paint the kitchen. I just looked at her and said, "You made your decision. Now I'm making mine." She burst into tears, telling me how everyone in our social circle was ignoring her. None of my friends' wives were talking to her. These were women who used to be her besties. They'd go shopping together, have spa days, and host dinner parties. Now they wanted nothing to do with her. All those lavish parties she enjoyed, no one invited her anymore. Turns out, being known as the wife who wrecked her marriage while her spouse was deployed has a negative impact on your social status. "What do you want then?" she asked through tears. I just replied, "You'll find out soon." She seemed concerned and added, "Are you seeing someone? Do you love her? Are you seeing her?" I couldn't help but laugh. She was the one who wanted to see other people, but suddenly she was jealous of the idea of me with someone else. She continued begging for answers, but I'd had enough. I just yelled, "Leave." And she did, claiming I'd regret betraying her trust. How ironic. My lawyer had already prepared the divorce papers. I planned to have them served once she returned to seeing them, so she wouldn't come crying to my apartment again. She wanted to open things up? Fine. I was going to open divorce proceedings. My lawyer served her the papers the day I left the coast. She frantically contacted me, ranting about how I had betrayed her and left her shattered, as if she were the victim in all this. Then she called my lawyer, saying she would fight the divorce to the bitter end and wouldn't let me go, as if she had a choice. She also tried playing the victim card with my parents, calling them and crying about how I had blindsided her and she had no idea what was coming. That backfired spectacularly. They already knew everything and told her exactly what they thought of her behavior. They soon blocked her number. Then her mother called me. Sharon had been telling everyone that we had agreed to open our marriage. She had convinced her entire family that this was a mutual decision. Her mother said they thought it was odd, but assumed it was our personal choice. I stopped her quickly. No way. I already told your other daughter the truth months ago. I never agreed to this dirty idea of hers. Her mother started talking about how Sharon's mental health was deteriorating because everyone had cut her off. All those fancy gatherings she used to go to, no one was inviting her anymore. The other officers' wives refused to speak to her. Her mother really hoped I'd feel bad about this. I thought to myself, why would my friends still invite her if she's not even my wife anymore? Is there any chance you guys can work things out? Her mother asked. I laughed and replied, absolutely not. I can't be the husband of a woman who's been keeping her legs open for tourists for the past year. Who knows what kind of filth has entered there? It was harsh, but I wanted them to know how I felt about their lovely daughter's behavior. Sharon's mother indicated that she wasn't ready for the divorce. I was blunt with her. The more she fights this, the worse it'll be for her. I'm moving on with my life whether she likes it or not, so she better cooperate for her own good. Sharon has bombarded my phone with texts and voicemails. She pleads, begs, and promises to change, saying she'll do anything to fix things. I haven't blocked her yet. Maybe it's selfish, but I want her to see exactly what she threw away. I'll block her eventually, but for now, I'm letting her suffer as much as I suffered when she brought up her open marriage. Update 2. Here's the final update. I'm enjoying another break on the coast. Divorce proceedings are underway, and Sharon has been fighting it hard, not because she wants to fix things, but because her perfect plan is falling apart. However, now she's completely broke. That shiny new world of freedom she so desperately craved turned out not to be as glamorous as she imagined. All those guys she dated just wanted to have fun with a married woman. They all left when the money ran out. She literally broke down in tears in front of the magistrate and said opening the marriage was a mistake, that she now wishes she could rewind the last year and have everything go back to normal. After I denied her access to our joint account, she drained her funds trying to maintain her lifestyle. In a year, she was left with nothing. Her teacher's check barely covers rent now, let alone the fancy clothes she's become accustomed to. That's the problem with living large. Once you get used to it, there's no going back. When she revealed the marriage thing and I pulled my money, she assumed it was temporary. She thought she could rely on her savings until I came to my senses and started subsidizing her lifestyle again. That was her wonderful plan, to be a loyal wife during my breaks, then go wild while I was overseas. Her strategy failed miserably. She begs for another chance at every court session, saying, let's start over. Easy for her to say. She wasn't the one who had to deal with the embarrassment and trauma. You know what really bothers me? She purposely proposed the open marriage right before my deployment started, giving herself 6 months to do as she pleased before I came back. Those first few months at sea were terrible. You're out there with nothing but ocean around you, no distractions, just staring at the water and thinking about what's happening back home. Sometimes the dark thoughts are truly nasty. I can't express how hard it was to hold myself together. Anyway, the divorce is almost finalized. Just one more court date left. Although she's unhappy, the asset distribution has been settled, and it's fair. I'm selling my house. I can't bear the thought of staying in a place where she ruined our marriage. She can't buy me out because she can't afford half the price. Fine with me. I don't want to hold on to anything from that existence. I'm really enjoying my new life. I'm better than ever. I've met new people, established a solid routine, and feel free to live my life the way I want. I'm not bitter about what happened. Honestly, I'm glad I didn't let her decisions ruin my future. I'm not looking to date anyone right now, but I'm open to whatever comes along. I've blocked Sharon on all my social media, but she keeps creating new profiles to stalk me. I can easily see them, but I let her watch. Let her know exactly what she threw away. Her Instagram used to be all extravagant parties, exotic trips, and beach pictures. Now it's just melancholic statements about regret and second chances. I guess that's what happens when you ruin a good thing.